How to choose the right sampling technique for your research. You cannot always collect the data from every single person in your population. So, how do you decide which people to include in your research? Should you choose them randomly? Should you select specific people? Or should you simply choose whoever is available? In this video, I am going to explain sampling and the most common sampling techniques in simple language. And I will also show you how to decide which one may be suitable for your research. What is sampling? Let's start from the very beginning. Sampling simply means selecting the smaller group of people from a larger population for your study. For example, imagine a university has 5,000 students. If your research is about student experiences of using AI for academic work, do you necessarily have to interview or survey all 5,000 students? Usually, that's not practical. Instead, you select a smaller number of population from the students and collect your data from them. This process of selecting them is called sampling. The 5,000 students are your population and the smaller group you actually study is your sample. You might be wondering, why not just study the entire population? Sometimes a researcher can actually study the whole population, especially when the population is very small. But when the population is large, studying everyone can require a lot of time, money and resources. Imagine trying to collect detailed information from 5,000 students. It could take months and even longer. So, researchers often select a sample that is appropriate for their research design and objectives. But sampling doesn't simply mean taking any convenient group of people. You need to think carefully about how you are going to select your participants. And that's where sampling techniques come in. There are two popular sampling techniques: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling. In probability sampling, member of the population has defined chance of getting selected according to the sampling procedure. In simple terms, selection is based on systematic or random process rather than simply choosing people because they are easy to reach. There are the most common type of probability sampling. The first one is simple random sampling. Imagine your university has a list of 1,000 students and you need 100 students for your research. You can assign each student a number and use a random method to select 100 students. The important idea here is you are not personally choosing which student you like or which students are easiest to contact. You are using a random selection process. The next one is systematic sampling. Suppose you have a list of 1,000 students and you want 100 participants. Instead of randomly picking every individual, you can use a fixed interval. For example, selecting every 10th person after establishing the appropriate starting point. So, the basic idea is choose according to a regular interval from an ordered list. Another technique is stratified sampling. This is useful when your population contains special subgroups and you want those groups represented in your sample. For example, imagine a university has students from different faculties: management, humanities, science and education. If you believe faculty differences are important for your study, you can divide the population into these groups or strata and then select participants from each group according to your sampling plan. So, you are not treating every population as one identical group. Now, let's come to non-probability sampling. Here, population are not selected through a probability-based random process where each participant has equal chance to get selected. This does not automatically mean the research is bad. Non-probability method is commonly used, especially in qualitative research and in situations where researchers need participants with particular characteristics or where a complete sampling frame is not available. First one is purposive sampling. And this is especially important for many qualitative research. Here you deliberately select participants because they have particular characteristics, knowledge or experiences that is relevant to your study. For example, suppose you are researching the experiences of women who started their own businesses after leaving salaried employment. You don't want just any participant. You especially need women who have that particular experience. So, you deliberately select participants who meet your criteria. Next is convenience sampling. As the name suggests, you select participants who are easily accessible to you. For example, suppose you are conducting a research among university students and you simply approach students who are available around your campus and willing to participate. And then we have snowball sampling. This can be useful when the people you are looking for are difficult to identify or assess. You begin with a participant who meets your criteria, and that participant may help you to connect with other people who also meet that criteria. For example, suppose you are studying a people who are difficult to identify through ordinary list or database. You find one eligible participant and they introduce you to another eligible participant who may introduce you to someone else. Your participant network gradually grows like a snowball. Now you might be thinking, okay, I understand the technique, but which one should I actually use? And this is where I want you to be careful. Don't choose a sampling technique simply because it sounds easy. Start with your research question and research design. Let's say I am researching the experiences of first generation university students. I don't simply need any university student. I need students whose parents have not previously attended university, according to the definition I am using for my study. So I need to deliberately identify the participant who meet my criteria. In a qualitative study, purposive sampling could be appropriate. But my research questions were instead about the estimating a numerical pattern among the entire university students' population. I might need a different sampling strategy. Same university, similar broad topic, but the research question and design can lead to a different sampling approach. So, sampling is not just about deciding how many people you are going to study. It's about deciding who those people should be and how you are going to select them. And remember the basic idea. Simple random, select by chance. Systematic, select using a regular interval. Stratified, divide a population into groups and sample from them. Purposive, deliberately select people who meet your criteria. Convenience, select people who are easily accessible. Snowball, participant help you reach other eligible participants. You don't need to memorize these names just for an exam. Understand why you would choose each one. And most importantly, don't choose your sampling technique because someone else used it. Choose it because it makes sense for your population, your research questions and your research design. So now you are clear about the sampling technique. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you like this, don't forget to subscribe and share it to your researcher friends.